the Fanatic Sports Podcast. It's a beautiful day, beautiful afternoon, in what I like to call, Gabe, the dog days of summer.
Okay.
So this is my favorite time of year, but it's not a lot of people's favorite time of year, right? Because it's baseball season. Thankfully, the WNBA has started picking up some steam in the last few years, and they've got a lot of promise going into the future. So we got something going on there. Scheffler just torched in the Open, right? So
Yeah.
I mean, but these are all types of sports where folks don't generally, it's not for the casual fan usually, right? And so that's why I like to call it the dog days of summer. Now there is, off-season football. There's spring football now with the XFL. There's, there's a ton of, there's
Not a
football.
fan.
Yeah, you're not a fan of the XFL.
No, look, man. I watched
Well,
The Rock
wait a
on
minute, this
WWE. I don't need to see him owning. I don't need to see him owning a business, coming out there and trying to like showcase and make it look like he's doing something good. The viewership is horrible. Like no one watches that. Have you ever watched a game of the XFL and actually see there's like maybe 20 people in the stadium? Like stop. Like, don't ever bring up the XFL in off-season time, man. Don't ever do that.
I think more people watch the Big Three than the XFL.
God bless.
No, that's facts. That's facts.
I heard a commercial yesterday about the Big Three, and their ending slogan was "the way basketball was meant to be played."
Sure.
Hey, all right. If you like it, I love it.
Look,
bro.
at least they play defense.
There's a lot of good
Gabe,
clips that come out of that. You have Lance
Gabe,
Stevenson and
Gabe,
Michael
I just
Keith.
wanted to say hello to you, man. Look. Gabe, I didn't get a chance to say hello to you earlier, so hello. Your receipt is coming today. I'm on your ass today. I will be on your ass today because you humbled me the last time. And last time, I had to look back at that. And I was like, damn, man. I actually love Gabe, man. Like, Gabe humbled me. I did not expect you to humble me. It was pretty dope. But today, I'm on your ass. But
Okay.
I will say this. He has a point. The Big Three has more viewership and more people in the stands than XFL. Like, no one sits there and says, hey, man, I'm going to go to this bar and go watch XFL. No one says that.
Oh, no, we're not going to go watch it, but like, I think maybe just the idea of, getting, there's football. I mean, it is, look, down here in the South, Gabe, we love our football. It's a religion. It's right next to, it's Sunday. I just got out of church. Guess what I want to see right after that? Look, two guys
Not the
in the wrong
XFL.
color jerseys smashing each other in the face. That's what I want.
Look, I got to watch a friend today get baptized. Look, I got to watch a friend get baptized today, and I almost want to call him, be like, "Hey, man, you want to go watch the XFL?" I think he might laugh at me.
Yeah, sure he does. Sure he does.
Like
Hallelujah.
no one in America goes, "Hey, let's go watch the XFL." No one.
I'm sure some people. Well, I'm sure like the aunts and uncles of all the players want to go see their favorite nephew.
I mean, there are people that actually cover the XFL. That's.
I would.
They have whole YouTube accounts. Dedicated to the XFL, all this other stuff. The USFL. I mean, I don't get it. I don't want to watch. A lot of people fall in love with these. Because a lot of these guys are like the college football players of their teams, and they'll play in the XFL, and they love those guys, so they go watch them and play professional football, whatever that means, and
Yeah.
So I guess they have a little bit of love there, but I don't know. I'm in New York. Football basically doesn't exist here, so I'm not watching no XFL. I'm not watching none of that shit.
Wait. Hey, look. Wait. Gabe. Hold on. You mean to tell me you're not riding on the Giants' front line? I mean, their front four, or
They've got the best defensive line
offense?
Yeah, it sounds good until half of them get hurt halfway through the year, and then Daniel Jones magically comes back somehow, and
Oh, he's on his way back. He's definitely on his way back.
he'll come back somehow, and that's how the Giants go. There's nothing to be excited about. If they start winning a couple games, sure. I mean, we could gas up the Giants all day here. I could do that. I could tell you that, Tyrone Tracy's gonna have a breakout year in the backfield, but I mean, what use does it make?
I'm taking him in my draft. I'm
There you go.
taking him 17th round in my draft.
There you
Speaking
go.
of draft, I'm glad you brought that up. Good job, Gabe. Great segue here. All right, so for everybody that's watching, first of all, shout out to the two people watching us on Twitter right now, Gabe. That's got to be your fans. I'm sure of it. So for everybody that's following, in case y'all didn't know, we next month, the Fanatic Sports Podcast will have a fantasy football league. We're going to have a fantasy football draft, and to determine the selection order for that draft, Gabe, we're doing a NFL knowledge quiz, game show style.
Ooh.
Game show style. It's gonna be some tricky questions. You gotta study up. You may not.
Wait,
know.
but you know the answers.
I am recusing myself. I will be picking 12th. That's how good I am at fantasy football.
Wow.
That's how good I am.
See, I knew I loved you for a reason.
Yeah, well, when you're picking 11th, don't cry because there's gonna be a few answers you're gonna miss. But I'm very excited about this, Gabe. I know you're a busy man, so I won't bother to invite you to our.
I'm curious to what some of these questions are.
I'm curious.
I'm gonna shoot you the link so you can look at the quiz and just you take the quiz and tell me what you think of it. I needed some.
Why does
wisdom.
Is it like history? Is it like history and stuff?
Yeah. I mean, it's trivia. It's history. It's different facts, different things about the National Football League. And you'll answer the questions. I'll tell you this. I'll give you the only hint I'm gonna give, and then I'm gonna turn into Julie from Big Brother. But the only hint I'm gonna give you is that some of the questions have multiple answers. Wow. And I'll leave it at that, right? So, I mean, but you just gotta, if you know the game, if you know the history of the game, you deserve to pick first, right? Because if we don't know where we've been,
I don't want to pick first.
Where we're going. Well, it's not a snake draft, so you do want to pick first. Yeah, that's right.
There you go.
That is coming from
the incentive right there. That's the incentive.
Where is coming from a Pittsburgh Steelers fan? Of course he would do this.
Well, just so you know, there aren't very many Pittsburgh Steelers answers, so you should. I was very biased.
Is there a lot of Baltimore? Is there a lot of Baltimore questions?
I don't even know what that city is. What are you talking about? All right, so, but yeah, definitely. So we're gonna have, and it's gonna be game show. We're gonna live stream it. The really cool thing that these ideas have been coming to me, and I'm just trying to manifest as many as I can. But the really cool thing about this fantasy football league is it offers tons of content. So it's really cool. We got some really great fans that are joining us. We've got some great content creators that'll be joining us, man. There's a guy right now. I'd probably need to, at the end of the show, I probably need to try to reach out to him because he found the league and joined, but I don't think he follows us on Instagram, so I don't know how he found it, but thanks for finding it. But please, Robert, if you get the chance, look in the league. His name's Robert. I don't know how to say his last name, but God bless him. Thank you for joining. Looking forward to playing with you all season. And
I look forward to just owning you guys. I look forward to owning because you guys don't know how to draft, and that's why I said
What's your history? You must have some decorative history. You must have a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar history when it comes to winning these leagues.
He did. All right. In his defense, Gabe, the last league we were in, he did win the league.
Okay.
So I'll give him that. He did win the last league we were in. But the four leagues we were in before that, he got cooked. But
yeah, Gabe, but I don't draft like everybody, man. You know,
Yeah.
like you get
Jamarcus
people
Russell.
randomly like, oh look, you get people randomly like drafting a QB in the first round, and that's just like so so mind blowing to me. Like it's so asinine. Like, why are you
Ooh,
drafting a QB
that's
in
a
the
five
first
dollar
round? They
word
don't.
right there,
I
buddy.
get you get points. I get you get points. But I'm not gonna teach my I'm not gonna tell my secret to the league. I'm not doing this, man. I know what Block is trying to set me up for. You're trying to set me up for failure. You're trying to set me up for failure. Look, man, I get you have a Black Lives Matter thing in the back. I
I'm not
really
trying to set you up
appreciate
for
that.
failure.
But all NFL players matter, sir.
All right. Even the ones that don't drop to the knee. All right, that's fine. Before we one more announcement. We talked about the fantasy football league, and there technically these last two spots are supposed to be taken, but they haven't been filled yet. And so the other really dope thing, Gabe, you're gonna like this one. So to end the fantasy football league championship, right? Game week 18 is gonna be the last one. We're gonna have a 2-week championship. And then in week 18, we're going to actually throw a big party for our fantasy football
Oh,
league, right? Right? Yeah. So pretty excited about this. It's going to be in Northwest Arkansas. Just in case you were wondering, there are some good Delta flights if you want to join us, Gabe. All right. In Northwest Arkansas. You've never been, you can come down. We'll get you some barbecue. We'll teach you how to call the hogs. By the time you leave, you'll be saying y'all. It's going to be great.
I
I'm
say y'all for
excited.
I say y'all for a different reason. not
Oh.
not
Hey,
not down
no,
south.
but
Not
it won't be. Hey, Gabe, it won't be that normal New York City, y'all. It'll be
Oh, it's gonna
y'all.
be y'all, you all y'all.
you
That,
all.
yeah, you all y'all. Real quick before we get started, a little bit of shenanigans. What's the difference between a northern girl and a southern girl?
I
What's
don't
the
know.
difference between a northern girl and a southern girl? Southern girl's gonna be like, hi, will you
No,
do me a favor? You want to go to this country concert? In the
no, a
north, you're
northern
probably getting somebody who goes, why the hell you looking at me like that? Stop.
a northern girl says you can come. A southern girl says y'all can come.
Okay, is your mother watching this show?
Yep, she sure is, buddy.
I'm sorry,
Oh,
Miss
so what
Blanca.
you're saying is a Southern girl invites more than one person over?
He gets it. That's all right. He's old. He's 48 years old. His birthday was 3 days ago, according to Facebook.
No, my birthday is literally at the end of this month. Stop making me old, man. I'm 41. Look, dog, I am 41 at the end of this month. I don't want to be any older anytime soon. So please
Why is
stop.
Facebook lying? Why is
That's,
Facebook lying?
I have
Man, I don't know,
questions.
but I'm July 31st.
All right, so look, before let's get started. All right, before we get into the biggest reason that Gabe is here is because he's our source of New York Liberty basketball ins and outs. But before that, we do need to talk about some of the other sports going on right now in New York, particularly the baseball teams in New York. Um, you know what? And
Go
you said
Mets!
it, but you said it before we got on air. There's not a lot of great New York teams right now. Some people in this panel might think there's never any great New York teams, but we'll save that for another day. But right now, the Yankees up first before we talk about the team in Queens. The
Ooh!
Yankees.
The only reason why they're relevant is because of Aaron Judge. That's it, right now. The only reason why they're relevant this year is because of Aaron Judge.
Well, he's having a spectacular year. We
Yep.
just hit the All Star break. Gabe, talk a little bit about, if you can, about thus far into the season as we go. We've just come out of the All Star break here with the Yankees.
Well, I mean, the thing with the Yankees is that, or the Yankees fans, is that they're always looking for the biggest trades, and now we're getting towards trade deadline, and the Yankees, they always find themselves in a funny kind of cycle of death in life where they go at the beginning of the season, they look like the best team in the league. Then June comes around, they look like the worst team in the league. And now they kind of limp and figure out what the hell's going on before you get to the trade deadline. And then we gotta go from there. So that's where the Yankees are right now. Luckily, they're winning today. Judge hit his 36th home run, so that's always great to see. But that's it with the Yankees. I have a lot more promise with kind of what's going around with the Yankees. A lot of people still think that they're a better team last year, which I still disagree with. But that's a conversation I think we had last time on this show. So
Yep, sure
you know,
did.
so I do like where the Yankees are. They need a couple things at the trade deadline, and luckily, once again, the American League is not all that strong, so it won't take much for them if they get things turned around here to get back to the World Series.
The one thing I was just about to say is we can talk all day about the slumps in the middle of the season, and it's a long season, so
Yep.
you're gonna have your throws up and down there. But one
All
of
I
the
want
things
to say is, with Toronto being the best team in the American League East, that has to tell you how bad the American League is.
well, I mean, it's still
And
it's
who's going to
it's
say that the
July.
Detroit Tigers? Look, I'm sitting here looking at the standings. No one thought the Detroit Lions. I mean, I gotta call them Detroit Lions.
Detroit
The Detroit
Tigers.
Tigers. No one ever thought that they would be where they are, but they're 59 and 40, and they have a 596 winning percentage, 32 and 18 at home, 27 and 22 away, but they're 4 and 6 in their last 10 games. So I'm like, okay, maybe there's a possibility the White Sox randomly show up in the league, but we all know they are the sidekicks to the Chicago Cubs. Um, we understand that, but when I look at the Yankees, I don't see them, and I hate saying this, and I don't like the Yankees just because my brother used to make fun of me for being a Met fan. But
We
I
make fun
don't
of you
see
for
the
that too, because
Yankees. They
that's why we
need
love you.
they need. I think the Yankees need to go ahead and pick up. Gabe, I watched your thing where you're talking about picking up the third baseman. What was his name?
I mean, there's a couple of third basemen the Yankees could go
Well,
after.
you had one. You had one that you had picked out, and he's not really good at hitting, but
Oh,
he's a stud at third baseman defensively.
yeah. I mean,
And
Key Brian
you
Hayes
know
is
what?
definitely an option there.
Right.
I was sitting there and I was like, you know what? That might solidify their lineup. That and I think they need a left-handed pitcher.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
think they
it
need
certainly
a
would help.
left-handed pitcher.
It certainly would
54
help.
and 44 is not that bad, man. You guys are gonna limp your way into the wild card. That's all I'm gonna say. I think the Yankees limp their way into the wild card. I don't think they will get, a seed. I think they limp into it, just like the Mets
But
will. The Mets are gonna do the same thing. But looking at the
but
Yankees and then looking at who they have and what they've given up, I feel like you guys spent way too much money on players that don't deserve it.
don't they do that every year?
Particularly, I think particularly Jazz Chisholm is not a. I don't think he's a great player for the Yankees. I don't think he fits the mold. And I'm not saying because he doesn't hit home runs. The man, he has a thing that I don't like: fake charisma.
Fake charisma. That's big.
And
All
I
right.
say
So
that because when he's in the lineup and he plays, you don't see Jazz the way he was beforehand. He gets to the Yankees, he's now got this charisma where he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna take the lights and I'm gonna be this great guy," and you did nothing. Also, remember the home run derby where he was just swinging at duds? He was
Yeah,
swinging
okay.
at
I mean,
So
stuff,
so
and
I
these
don't
are
care
like
about that
30
home
so
mile
run
give
per
me a
hour
second,
pitches.
Gabe.
derby.
Gabe, jump in here because the home run derby was one thing, but you saying the man's got fake charisma. That's an indictment. Gabe, talk to me about this.
Yeah, look, anybody you talk to about the Yankees actually disagrees the most with that statement ever. I mean, Jazz Chisholm last year was the reason why they sparked after the trade deadline. And in the last 37 games, Jazz Chisholm is batting 294 with a 936 OPS. He's got 10 home runs his last 37 games. So, I mean, you could say that he has fake charisma, but I mean, he's been one of the better batters over the last third of the season here for the Yankees. I think he started off the year terribly. Then he got hurt. He came back. He's been probably one of the better players, one of the better second basemen in the entire MLB. So I think he's been a great Yankee. I think he's been fine in terms of breaking that mold. I think the Yankees struggled with being too much of that old 1940s, 1950s. Oh, you got to be clean shaven. You got to wear a certain thing. You got to do this. It's 2025, guys. Like, I understand the Yankees got a tradition, and they deserve that tradition over their years of winning championships. But at some point, you got to let these players be comfortable in their own skin a little bit. So I love that Jazz Chisholm kind of front line, wearing more, having more of that facial hair, wearing different colors on the jersey, having a little bit more swagger. Even if you think it's not real, you think it's manufactured, it is real in that clubhouse. They all kind of vibe off of that spark. And whether it's real or fake, it really doesn't matter at that point because he's producing at a very elite level, especially over the last 40 so games.
That's that you can fake whatever you want. This was it's a great which we're gonna talk a little bit about sports movies before we finish up, Gabe. But it was a great line in Fever Pitch where they said you can fake having a good game. You can you can even have a good season, but you can't fake having a great career, right? And
right.
so when you talk about fake charisma, that, like I said, that's an indictment because at that point, like, I mean, we're talking about people's manhood at that point. Like, to me, like, if you say that I got a fake charisma, like, that's hurtful. That's here. You cutting deep with that one.
Well, I think the biggest thing, right? I mean, before Jazz Chisholm was even traded to the Yankees, there
He's
was a
on
big
pace. Jazz Chisholm is on pace, and I'm looking at this right now. Jazz Chisholm is literally on pace to have the highest strikeout total of his entire career. He's
okay.
at 74 at the All Star break. Look, man,
Okay.
stop swinging at duds. That's my thing. Look, I don't look, man. He's at 74 strikeouts right now. His highest in 2021 was 145. All right, he's at 74. We're halfway through the season. His last time he had over 100 was with the Marlins again. All in it with the Marlins. One
Yeah,
thing
I don't think
I
strikeouts
was
matter
confused.
that
I
much.
bugged out with, huh?
I don't think strikeouts matter that much. I mean, Jazz Chisholm is probably going to have the best season of his career this year.
So I think the strikeouts are a
He batted
byproduct of
248.
more at bats.
Look, he batted 248, which is the lowest of his entire career. Striking out 145 times.
That was last year.
No, 2021. He's on
So
pace right now. He's on pace to double. Like,
Yeah, but
he's
yeah,
on pace to
how many
double.
strikeouts does Judge have every year? How many strikeouts
I was
does
about to say
Schwarber
that.
have every year? How many strikeouts do all these great guys have? How many strikeouts does
Look,
Cal
I get
have every
strikeouts
year?
are not a thing, but I'm looking at guys that, look, man, you paid a high amount for, and you got look, instead of the pretty
Did the
penny,
Yankees
you
pay
got a
a high
copper.
amount for Jazz Chisholm? Who'd they give up? Augustine Ramirez? Like they didn't really give up that much, and he's been fine on the Miami
And
Marlins. But
he's doing
let's
really well.
let's not act like they gave up some super all star over there to the Miami Marlins. If anything, it's been a win-win trade for both teams.
That that's what that's what
I
I was about
get
to say.
where you're at.
Jazz seems to be balling for the Yanks, so it's hard to argue with that
Look, Aaron Judge is your
in my
savior,
estimation.
and all I'm going to say is all rise.
All right. Well, look, I mean, when you put Judge and Chisholm and who's the guy that they still
Bellinger's
got
been
Stanton.
Cody Bellinger's been
Cody Bellinger's
fantastic. By
been
the way.
also amazing. Cody
He's been
Bellinger's
fantastic.
he's in my baseball fantasy league. I have him as my on my team. He's been
Yeah,
doing great.
Cody's been
Well,
spectacular.
just to circle it all back around, the one thing I was going to say is that we can talk about slumps, we can talk about ups and downs with the Yankees. You play all, what is it, 162 games. So I mean, it's understandable that they're going up and down throughout the season. But I know as a Royals fan, what we went through with them in the series in the playoffs. I know it's going to be the same thing this year, where that lineup is going to be too dangerous for I don't know who in the AL has a lineup that can actually rival the Yankees. You may be able to speak to that more than me, Gabe, but I know because in the playoffs it's not about X's and O's, it's about Jimmys and Joes. And so if I can't think of a better lineup of Jimmys and Joes than what the Yankees put out on the field every day.
The hottest
So
team right now look. I'm gonna tell you right now. The hottest team right now is the Boston Red Sox, and I hate
Sure.
everything Boston.
Well, it's. I
But
mean,
the
that's
hottest team right now
the
is Boston.
key.
Well,
Key word is
of the
right now.
hottest two of the hottest teams in baseball are in the American League East with the Blue Jays and the
Yeah,
Red Sox.
Right. But come September, when it's time to line up and go
man,
seven
Gabe, I
games
wanted to
with
ask you.
somebody.
I
When it,
wanted
when
that
it
Blocker. Let me
yeah,
ask Gabe this
go
question.
go for it.
No, I like and I know he's a huge Yankee fan, and and I love talking sports because man, my brother would kick me in my face right now if he was alive, because I'm talking so much trash about the Yankees. But I'm actually not going to talk trash about the Yankees. I do definitely want to ask you, Gabe, what do you think you need to make it to the World Series? What do you think you need?
Well, I think first and foremost, the Yankees need two bullpen arms. I don't think they need to be crazy bullpen arms, but I do think they need bullpen arms. I mean, there's a laundry list of guys that a lot of people have gone through, so I'm not going to waste everyone's time with names. But get two guys that consistently get outs because right now the injuries have plagued both the starting pitching and the bullpen of the Yankees. So they definitely need to get two guys in that bullpen. If they can get a starter in the back half, that would be great. Or they can just hope that Marcus Stroman continues to be a pretty decent pitcher in the back of their rotation. Today, he hasn't given up a run yet. So I mean that's been pretty good. That would be the third start in a row since his return of him being solid. So I mean if he could be that, then maybe they don't need a starting pitcher. But all the signs indicate that pitching is the front line at the trade deadline, that they need one starter, two bullpen guys. And then after all of that, then you can look at third base, whether it's a guy like Eugenio Suarez that it seems like everybody wants, whether it's a guy like Ke'Bryan Hayes or a guy that I would love to see happen in Willie Castro of the Minnesota Twins. I think those are some guys that the Yankees could easily grab. Not easily, but they could grab to make themselves back to World Series contenders. And I know that might sound like a lot, but if they hit on maybe two of those guys, maybe get like a couple of bullpen arms and maybe your starter, or maybe just one bullpen arm and one starter. Maybe they don't touch a third baseman. I do think they could still make it back to the World Series because, I mean, once again, they have the biggest run differential in the entire American League at 110 runs, plus 110 runs. And I mean, you said it yourself, Blanca. I mean, once that playoff turns around, it's not about, oh, you had a slump in June. It's about, hey, who do you got on this roster? Who's the most intimidating guys on the field? And the Yankees are going to have those guys more times than not.
Yep. I mean, and that's
Gabe,
that's that's the
I
kicker.
love. Look, I love that he brought up the bullpen. I think he's 100% correct. There's no reason to trade or try to go do anything big. But the one thing I've also noticed is the like there are times where the Yankees don't score runs. It's pitiful. And then you look at it. There's times they're like knocking home runs. They're guys in running in scoring position. Everything's going great. And then you look at them and they're like, oh, everything's great. Oh, don't worry about the Yankees. And when you go and look at them, and you look at their last you look at their last 10 games, they're 6-4. Easily could have been 10-0 in those last 10 games if they scored runs. And I think that's a problem. Like you can't rely on Aaron Judge to do everything, man. Look, man, the guy is having a monstrous season. 36 home runs. Like what he's on pace to at the All-Star break he's on pace to hit 65, maybe 70.
Yeah.
At this pace, I don't think we've.
So
And
so
let me be
let me
honest,
let me
I
let
think
me
he's better
refute
than
you.
Shohei Ohtani. I don't care what anybody says. Just because he pitches, I don't care.
So let me ask you. Let me rebuttal right here, because I feel like, and I'm not a Yankees fan, but I have watched the Yankees for a good amount of time. And one of the
No,
things
you're a
that I
nasty
kind of
Royals fan.
noticed it's a hey, whoa, just because we won't even get into what happened 10 years ago, it's not even important anymore. He knows. So the Yankees are built around big time names, right? For so long it was Jeter or sometimes, I mean, and you have the guys that all step up, but the captain for all those years was Jeter, right? He was the rock solid, consistent, always the same, always the good numbers, always a great defender. I mean, like his consistency, and of course, this is baseball. This is what it's about: is consistency, right? So if you can't depend on Aaron Judge to be that rock in the middle of that lineup, then why are we talking about him? What's with all the laud? What's with all the big money? All the extra stuff they had to do to get him to stay in New York instead of going back home to Cali. Like if you can't depend on him to be that guy, right? It's ironic you're saying that Jazz Chisholm isn't doing enough when he's having a solid year, but Jazz Chisholm isn't the guy we expect or that you expect as the Yankees fan to be the consistency, the rock solid guy. He's the guy that's going to get a hit. Judge is the guy that's supposed to get the hit when the opposing pitcher is dealing, right? When their ace is against their ace, right? Whoever it is, Randy Johnson, you name it. The number one pitcher on the opposing bullpen, that's the guy that you expect to step in and still be consistent and get good hits and make the plays that makes everyone else around them get better, right? So why would we not expect that out of Aaron Judge? Not to say that he hasn't been it.
I'm not.
But why would you not expect it?
I'm not saying that. But my thing is, man, you can't rely on one player to do everything. You can't expect him to do everything. He needs help. He needs guys to be on base. And if you can't get guys on base, you can't score runs, man. Like that's just how the nature of baseball is. And I'm sorry to say this, but Aaron Judge is having a phenomenal season. But if there's nobody in front of him that can get on base, what are you doing with your lineup? I think the lineup needs to change. I honestly would like to see a lineup change. I would like to see guys that can actually hit the ball, get on base, so you can give your big hitters, your 4, 5, and 6, which is the bulk of your lineup. I'd love to see them get on base. I'd love to see them drive in runs. Look, man, I know I'm a Met fan, and I say this all the time, but I'm also a New Yorker, and I'm always going to say, if the New York Mets are not in it, I'm rooting for the Yankees. So if I don't see that, I'm going to be pissed off. As a fan, I'm going to be pissed off.
So let me ask you this: the Yankees right now are 4th in the MLB in batting average. They're 1st in on base percentage. They're 1st in slugging. They're 1st in OPS. They're 1st in total bases. Right now, the Yankees, as a total offense, have the most home runs in the league. I'm asking you, what in the world do you want them to do better at offensively? I understand. I understand consistently, right? Because sometimes they'll be really down and they won't score runs for a couple of games. But you look at these total numbers, and you're going to sit here and tell me that these guys don't get on base. It's just Aaron Judge. That's just objectively not true. We can point at a couple guys, and I'd love to bash guys like Anthony Volpe and the third baseman for not doing well at all because they've been black holes offensively. But if we're looking totally about this offense, I mean, they've been one of, if not the best swear jar, the best offense in the entire league.
You owe $1.
I don't know.
You owe $1.
Listen, Gabe. That the Yankees haven't scored enough touchdowns. They don't dunk the ball, or they don't attack the rim, or anything. So,
but that's my biggest thing.
I see your point. I see your point.
That's my biggest thing, right? And we hyper analyze the Yankees because it's the New York Yankees, and we expect them to win World Series, get to the World Series every year because it's what we've been conditioned to as fans, right? The Yankees are the gold standard. But I mean, it doesn't mean that when they're not doing that everything is wrong. I mean, you watch the Royals, you watch the Mets, you know what bad baseball looks like at times. The Yankees don't know what bad baseball looks like. They don't know what bad baseball looks like.
Shout out to the Strays.
They don't know what bad baseball looks like.
Wait, did you just get me back for when I said when I commented on your post about how the Yankees were playing bad?
I mean, they were playing bad, so I didn't mind that post. They were playing terribly, and it's not like they're playing great now. But like, I feel like we always hyper.
It's not even that. But man, look, yo. In order to have a winning team, and Gabe, you can't sit here and you can't bullshit me when I say this. In order to have a winning team, you need to stay consistent. And if you're not consistent, you're not going to win games. I don't care how offensive you are.
When's the last time the Yankees have not had a winning team?
It's Okay, you sound
When?
like Blanca when it
When's the
comes to
last
him being a
time?
Pittsburgh fucking fan.
When's the
You
last
see what
Sorry.
I'm
time you
saying?
saw?
You sound like
We're
no,
consistently
hold on,
good.
wait. You sound like
All
Blanca
right.
when it comes to him being a Pittsburgh Steelers fan about, when was the last time they actually had a losing season? When's the last time you
Come on,
motherfuckers
baby.
been to the Super Bowl? Excuse my language. Stop. You can't get it done.
20.
Here's my problem. If you can't get the shit done, fix it. There's a lot
Well,
of
they were
things
just in the World
offensively that
Series.
needs to be
So
They
fixed
were
with
so
the
in the
let's
World
Yankees.
Series.
so okay.
Look, win the
Let's
World
go. Let's
Series.
go.
Don't lose to the Dodgers again.
Oh,
What are they gonna fit? Well, the Mets aren't even gonna make it to the World Series, so they're gonna
Oh,
lose to the
I
Dodgers.
already know that.
bang.
Who
I
cares?
already know that. Oh, my man,
So
I don't think Sean Manaea is taking us anywhere. I don't think Kodai. I think Kodai Senga is overrated. We do need a left-handed. We do need a left-handed pitcher relief wise.
yeah,
We definitely need that. I think the constant bringing people up from our minor league to our to the major leagues, going back and forth, sending them
yeah.
back and forth. It's like, what are you doing? Look, man, either you're gonna play them or not play them. Look, man, I get guys have inconsistent days. I get guys getting into slumps, but you're sending guys down who are defensively way better than a person that actually can play defensive. Like, to me, it's always, and I'm always going to say this, defensive wins championships.
Oh
If you
yeah.
can't play defense on the field, if you can't play defense on the field, there's no reason for you to be there. Ray Ordonez, one of the greatest shortstops I have ever seen personally watch, couldn't hit a lick. But man, that man was a stud at shortstop. You can't win games if you can't play defense. And that's my problem when I look at that stuff. So when you compare apples to oranges, the Yankees to Pittsburgh, when was the last time they had a losing season? You can, to me personally, you can never ever compare that because that's Blocker saying the Pittsburgh Steelers has never had a losing season under Mike Tomlin. Okay, great. What the fuck have you done with any of your teams since then? You just
The
buy
same amount that
people
the
and
Commanders
lose.
have done.
Look, you buy people and lose. That's what it is. Look, the Yankees and Pittsburgh, you buy people and lose.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Well,
mean,
it's
I'd rather be a fan of a team that's winning games, a majority times than not. Fine, I want to watch a team win a World Series. I want to watch a team win a Super Bowl. If I was a Pittsburgh fan, I want to be able to wave my terrible,
Don't
ugly
say that. Don't say
towel
that.
in the stands, right? I want to be able to
Gabe,
do
I'm gonna
that.
send you
But but at the
Gabe,
same
I'm gonna send
time,
you a Pittsburgh Steelers shirt. I'm gonna
I'll
send you a
I'll wear it.
Pittsburgh
I'll
Steelers
wear it. If
jersey.
you send it to me,
Just
I'll wear
to
it.
talk shit.
So, if you send it
Yep.
to me, I'll wear it.
what
But I
size shirt you wear, Gabe? You look like
I'm
you probably a large.
Yeah, I think I
Big.
think I'm a good large. I think I'm a good large. I think I'm a good large.
All right, look. We'll find you one. We'll find something in
But
the.
I mean, okay. I mean, let's talk. You wanted a lineup change. What things in the Yankees lineup would you want to be changed?
I'll tell you that right now. Glad you asked. Give me a second.
Would you, if you had gun to your head, you have to do a lineup change, Gabe. While he's pulling up ESPN, what would you change if you had to?
I would make the lineup consistent. That would be my lineup change because I think that's one of the biggest
Okay.
gripes about the Yankees lineup is that every day it seems like the lineup is different with the Yankees. I think the biggest change that they need to make is just keeping Jason Dominguez as the leadoff guy. I really like that idea. I mean, even today he hasn't really been great as the leadoff batter. 0 for 4 today with a strikeout, not great, but I think Jason Dominguez
Nice.
overall has shown that he's able to lead off. He's able to get on base. He has a really good eye. He can see pitches really well. So I do think just having one guy as the leadoff guy and making at least the first four, the first five in that lineup the same every single day, I think that has value in of itself.
So I wouldn't go. All right.
I
So I
think
would go Jason
consistency pays
Dominguez.
off in the MLB.
I would go Jason Dominguez, Cody Bellinger, Jazz Chisholm, Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, Paul Goldschmidt, Ben Rice, and Volpe. And then you got Vivas. Uh, but I think I would switch up my 2 to 5. my number 2 hitter and my number 5 hitter, I definitely would change that. There's no reason why Aaron Judge should be number 2. He's a power hitter. You want guys on base so he can either take the walk, or he hits a single or double or triple or home run. But why is there never and you're right, and that's my thing. It's the same thing with the Mets. We go through this all the time. We go through stretches where it's like, why the fuck? Man, add $5 to the swear jar.
7.
Why the fuck do do they change lineups when if it's not broken, why try to fix it?
Because
And my
sometimes you
thing
gotta
is, Judge,
anticipate
I
that.
think he should be batting. I think Judge should definitely be batting before John Carlos, because then it's like, okay, cool. Now you have another power hitter. Either it's like the Manny Rodriguez and David Ortiz situation. Great. We're going to walk one to throw to another? You're not doing that. I don't care.
Well,
I don't
also
care
part of it
anybody.
hasn't Stanton been hurt a little bit?
Yeah, Stanton's been hurt. I mean, just recently
His
coming
injuries
back.
are.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's been
Yeah.
in and out of the lineup. I mean, his to be honest with you, his injury history has been kind of tough as is. But I mean, like
He reminds me of, and I hate. He reminds me of Allen Houston.
Ugh.
You know why I say that? Make a bunch of money, and then now he's all of a sudden he's always on the bench or always hurt.
Well,
That's what Allen
I mean-
Houston was, and I love
Look
Allen
at
Houston.
look at what Stanton did in the playoffs. I know Blocka knows firsthand experience
Yeah.
with Stanton in the
God
playoffs.
bless.
So-
He was fire against us. Yeah. I mean, and that's why you
That's
pay
my
Giancarlo Stanton. You don't pay Giancarlo Stanton to be your everyday all the time. And that just goes right back to my point I was making about Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge is the guy that you expect. If we only got one person that can do it every day, it's got to be Aaron Judge. Not Jazz Chisholm, not Bellinger, not Volpe, or any of these other guys you just named in the lineup. And you know, I'm telling you, and I was just about to say, man, we're about to hit the 45-minute mark, and we spent too much time talking about the Yankees, but way more than I wanted to.
Look, man,
But
game's on, man, so we got to talk shit.
well, but no, I'm with you. Like, I mean, Stanton would be great, but you also got to think this through, right? Because all right, so the first time through the lineup, innings 1 through 3, you're gonna get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. After that, what if Volpe gets on, right? Now we're talking about you want to have you actually. I've seen studies where the 8 and 9 guy are more important, are just as important, or more important than the 1 guy, right? Because the way it rolls back around, you want to have some guys on base for Judge, and so maybe putting Judge at the 3 spot or the 2 spot will allow you to have a couple people on base, and then he knocks them in. It's the chess of baseball is amazing to me. I love it.
Look, before we get off this baseball topic, I gotta ask you: is anyone better than Jim Abbott? Like, when you look at him, and I've been watching a lot of his highlights, and I don't know why. It's because of that guy that's trying to try out for the NBA. He's got one arm, and he's doing it all.
Oh,
and I'm
yeah.
just sitting here, and I'm like, does he not have like one of the greatest stories where you're watching some guy pitch the ball, and he
change
steals
gloves.
the ball by immediately switching gloves, and he throws. And I'm just like, yo, like I've been watching his highlights, and I've been on a Jim Abbott kick for the last like 2 weeks. Man, there's nothing that man couldn't do. But what who do y'all think is the greatest pitcher defensively, and as a strikeout player? Who is the greatest pitcher in your guys' eyes? And
Greg
Gabe, I know you're not old enough to think about it, but I
It's
know
Greg
you know
Maddux.
baseball.
It's not even close.
Defensively, or like as a strikeout artist, or both?
Perfect mix of both. How many gold gloves does Greg Maddux have? Doesn't he have like 1 trillion gold gloves?
It was a bunch.
Oh,
I will say
God.
it was a bunch. I mean,
Oh my
so
God, you're right. Yeah.
If I was picking my favorite pitcher, I'm probably like the pitcher I think is probably the best pitcher. I'm probably gonna go with the big unit, but Randy Johnson, in case you didn't know his awful nickname. But I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, if we're talking, it depends on if you're talking defense. Yeah, I know. If you're talking defense, then it's probably I gotta go Greg Maddux. But if we're talking strikeouts, it's Nolan, and I don't think it's close with Nolan.
Yep.
So I mean, but like you said, I think Gabe, I think you hit it on the head with Maddox being kind of the best blend of both. You know, outstanding defense. You know, his ability to field and cover, and you know the mentality that went to his ability to pitch it.
And
It's
the
interesting.
fact that he was calling his pitches before anybody even knew about it,
Yeah,
right?
that was really dope.
Now we have the pitch com, and now everyone knows when you're calling your own pitches. He would do this. That means slider. He would
Yeah.
he would do all
Yeah,
that.
where he caught it. Like I saw that story. That was really really cool.
Yeah.
That was really really cool. So let me ask you this, because Greg Maddux was an All Star, and so here's my segue. So we just got through looking at the MLB All Stars. You know, Ant brought up Jazz Chisholm in the home run contest or his effort or thereof of it. Talk a little bit about what you saw from the All Star break in the MLB. Any thoughts you had about the Major League All Star down in Atlanta last weekend? Excuse me, last weekend.
I think the biggest thing that we saw, especially on that home run derby night, was the fact that why don't they? Nobody wants to do the home run derby. Nobody wants to do it. They told Jazz, hey, do you want to do it to help us out? Because nobody else wants to do it.
Yeah.
And Jazz said, okay, I'll do it. You know, I'm not going to ruin my swing for it, but I'll do it. And that's why, he was hitting a lot of line drives that ended up not being home runs. And then he was happy that he wasn't ruining his swing. I think that was the biggest thing with the, kind of the home run derby and Jazz Chisholm kind of debacle. But I just don't understand. Nobody wants to do it anymore. It's kind of a little bit like the 3-point, the slam dunk contest. These guys that we want to see, the judges, the Otanis, all these guys, they don't want to do it. And I don't blame them for not wanting to do it. But it stinks as fans, right? Because we want to see these guys. And then that goes into the All-Star game, right? The first swing off ever. We wanted to see Otani, Judge be the guys that decide that game at the end. But guess what? They're at home eating dinner, eating pork chops while watching Kyle Schwarber win the game, right? So what do you do in that situation?
You know what? I think it's the same thing that we were seeing in the NBA, and I was actually going to ask you to kind of rank the All Star experiences that we've had from the four major sports as well. And it seems like, and the sad part of this is as you talk about baseball, is that it may be number two, number one on the list of the major four. The NBA is falling for the exact same reason. Now, personally, I still put the NFL at last because we don't see the best players. But, we're kind of seeing this along the lines of everywhere but hockey, that nobody wants to play, and they want the break instead of the All-Star badge anymore. I don't know if that's, when I really sit and think about it, it just came to me that maybe the possibility is that there seems to be, the All-Stars, the Pro Bowls, those honors don't carry the same weight they used to. I'm old enough to remember those early '90s NBA All-Star games, and it was like pickup, but there was the rivalry and intensity and the passion in those games has gone, and we've seen it. Baseball did more, I felt like, than most to preserve or make every effort to preserve that intensity in baseball. And for what it's worth, we saw a pretty good game. As a Royals fan, it was cool to see Bobby Witt, put some people in position, and I believe he hit an RBI or two, something like that, either him or Vinny, one or two. So, to get some of my favorite teams' players making some plays. But, overall, you're right. Judge and Otani were long gone by the time Schwarber won it for the NL. And, you got to ask those questions. Where are we at? Is it just a different day and age? Is it a different era with different generations? Is the All-Star game even important anymore? So, but talk a little bit about, comparing the four majors. And then we'll get into this fifth All-Star game with the WNBA here shortly.
Yeah, I think baseball is number one. They had 7.2 million. So even just by viewership alone, they were number one, even though that viewership is actually lower than years past.
Wow.
It's one thing that they're not really talking about as much. They just show 7.2 million people were watching. But I mean, yeah. I mean, it's got to be number one. Obviously, everyone was talking about that Hank Aaron moment. That was special. 7:15 at 7:15. Even the guys before in the warm ups, the AL's wearing 3, the NL's wearing Hank Aaron's number, right? So it was great to see in that aspect of it, and they do a good job of just the production, I think, of the game. But then you look around. I mean, we're playing flag football for the NFL now. We can't have an actual games with pads. What happened when? And everyone points to this moment. It's probably my favorite Pro Bowl moment with Sean Taylor knocking a guy's helmet off. That's what I want to see, right? That's what
Yeah.
I want to see. But it's impossible because we're so worried in this day and age about injury and sustainability, endurance, and all this. Everything is so optimized in the medical world to where the players that at this point they're like, well, I don't want to mess something up. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. And they value that break, and I think that's also part of it as well. I think these players themselves they get less breaks overall in these seasons, in these off seasons, because in the off season you got to play in the WBC, in the WNBA. A lot of almost every player is playing out seas somewhere, and
Yeah.
everyone's doing these things in the off season, so nobody has time to just rest. So whenever you get those 4 days to actually rest,
Yeah,
that's
you
that's
take it.
when they do it because these seasons are grueling in this day and age as well. So it's a weird mix of everything. I think the All Star games, I don't even like them anymore. A lot of people, everyone's like, oh. Jazz Chisholm sucks. Look, in the All Star game, he didn't do anything. And I'm like, you watched? I didn't watch.
Thanks for the shade, Gabe. Thanks
You
for the
cared about
shade,
that?
Gabe.
I didn't even
I
care
really
about it. So,
appreciate it.
what it is.
Thanks for
So
the shade, Gabe.
You got it.
so
Sorry,
so
I had to but
so
but nice,
so
nice shade there. I love it, Gabe.
so from one All Star game to another game, another All Star game. Talk a little bit about the WNBA this past weekend. What did you see? Did you get a chance to watch it? Your thoughts so far on the All Star weekend?
Yeah, All
Well,
Star Weekend was cool. Let me say this, right?
Okay.
And I mean, I personally don't really care much about any All Star game, at
Okay.
all. It's not my favorite time of the year because we don't see the best at their best. We don't, as much as they want to label it as that. But what I really liked most about the All Star game, the WNBA side, had nothing to do with the actual WNBA part about it. To me, it was watching. I don't know if you guys are plugged in. But Courtney Williams and T. Heidemann, on two players on the Minnesota Lynx. They've been doing this kind of live streaming thing
Okay.
where they call themselves the Stud Buds,
I have seen
and
that. Okay. Okay.
so they're showing everything, all the after parties, all the insides and outs of the All Star Weekend, and just everyone getting lit, having a great time over those last 4 days. To me, that was the best part about the All Star Weekend. It had nothing to do with the games, even though the Liberty swept the skills portion of it with Natasha Cloud and Sabrina going crazy, but it was just being able to see the back end of it, seeing everyone have fun, go party. Everyone's twerking on each other because they all love each other over there in the W, right? So
Yeah.
that to me was my favorite part about it. It had nothing to do with the games themselves, but just having people just do that was a really good. And by the way, Jazz Chisholm just had an RBI double, so you could shut up about that too.
This just in, Jazz
I'm
Chisholm's
watching
actually
the
good at
game.
baseball.
I'm literally watching the game right now as we're talking. So, I was wondering if you would actually catch that, but it was kind of dope that you actually said it at the moment that I actually watched that double. But yeah, I do want to say this though. I think I enjoyed the All Star. I think I enjoyed more of what you said, basically, with them showing the behind the scenes and what goes on. But I think in game and what I enjoyed most, I think I enjoyed more so watching the introductions and how excited everybody was when a player got called up. I thought that was probably dope. Like one of the dope parts of another thing I thought was dope, getting to see Angel Reese as hell. Oh my god. I don't know if you guys actually seen this, but Angel
You
Reese
kept
was
saying it. I never
I don't know
saw it.
how much bro,
It's
I don't know how
Indiana.
much
There can't
weed
be
she
that much
smoked.
there.
Man, look, no telling. She did get asked about her bags over the weekend, and she got hit on and stuff like that. Like all the girls were hitting on her. I'm just gonna tell you that right now.
Duh.
Uh,
I mean, it's Angel Reese. I love her with all my heart.
but Angel Reese was high as hell when it came to the introductions and they were introducing. And I thought that was probably the most fun I think I've ever enjoyed from a fan watching these players get introduced. Like they were actually excited to be introduced. They didn't just stand there looking like a statue like I was seeing in the NBA. Like, they were excited to be there. But the one thing I did love was the shirts.
Yeah.
You did or didn't love it? You did
Shirts
love it.
were no, I loved it. I thought the
Okay.
shirts were dope.
Yeah.
I
So
thought the shirts were
I
dope that
wanted
they
to
were.
bring that up because for me it was interesting when I jumped on Twitter, which I should never do, because Twitter is full of lies and hate and deceit. But I jumped
It's
on
not
Twitter.
Twitter anymore, man. It's called the X.
Sir, I am 40 years old and I was there when Twitter was born. I will never, ever. I don't care what those people call it. It's Twitter. You understand? I don't care if the bird's not there. That ain't got nothing to do with me. It's Twitter. I listen. Pluto's still a planet. In case you're wondering, if you ask me, I ain't changing for nobody. I ain't got time. Anyways, speaking of, shout out to the 10 people checking us out on x.com/Twitter/free the bird. But I
It's
get on
all to
Twitter.
Gabe, man. It's all to Gabe. We give it
Listen,
all
man,
to Gabe and all his bullshit Yankee
we got
football thoughts.
we got the gay babes with us. That's what they
There
are.
you go.
Okay.
There you go.
Listen, man.
Wow! Did you
we
just
got.
give him a? Wow! Did you just give him
He's
a
got a
nickname?
tribe name. He's got a tribe name. All right, for
Oh
all
man, I
all
love
his
it. I
fans,
love it.
all his fans are the gay babes. All right, so we got a big city guy with us. You can expect a lot of big city eyes. All right, that's what's happening.
There it is.
We're being humble about it. Okay, so but I did see a couple folks that were saying that the players were tone deaf and that they were delusional, and I'll be honest, and I'll tell you straight out. Right now, I understand the purpose of what the WNBA players are trying to say when they say pay us what you owe us, right? And I also understand how business works from a league standpoint. I get all of that, but at the end of the day, and I said this, a few days ago, that the NBA did the WNBA a real disservice by, kind of not guiding them, if nothing else, just providing the wisdom of what was it, a 50-year head start before the WNBA got its first year, inaugural year. So that 50 years of knowledge should have been passed down and worn out in these past 25 years, and shame on the NBA for not doing their portion. But I'm glad that whoever is behind getting it fixed now is doing so. That's very awesome. But I hate to see that, and I understand the plight, but I hate to see the way some people are trying to use the WNBA as a dollar while not giving them said dollar, right? You got a lot of players with some big names. Just what you saw, the behind the scenes from the All Star Weekend, the Stud Buds or whatever. Shout out to them. Cool, good for them, man. But that's a great look. That's a great look for the league, and sadly, there needs to be more of that. And so I hate the reception that I saw about the t-shirts. I'm very proud of the women and what they did for the t-shirts. It just makes me even more of a proud fan of the Aces, the 2025 WNBA champions to be.
Yeah, I mean, if the Aces won the 2025 WNBA champion, we'd all be shocked. So, I think the Aces actually
It's been a bad year.
Aces might
The
just
Aces.
blow their team up here soon by how things are kind of looking.
Yeah, we're
By
gonna
the way,
turn
the
it around.
Aces.
No way.
Aces win a
I know we're not
championship.
talking. I know we're not talking about the Aces, but the Aces don't have a first overall picks till 2028, I believe. Their team is just
They're
getting
gonna
old.
draft Stephania Curry.
There you go. They're gonna need Stefania at that point.
Her name is Riley. She should be about ready around 2028. We're good.
There you
It's
go.
fine.
So let's talk about these shirts, right? I mean, I thought it was a very powerful moment, right, for the
Yes.
players and in these negotiations. I do think it can get a little bit too messy though when you do
Yeah.
start playing these games. I think some of the league, the executives, they can maybe take this as a little bit of a shot. But once again, who cares? If you're the players, you're going out there trying to play for what you're worth. And, you could talk about, the league is still in a deficit. In the next couple of years here, the WNBA is going to get a massive $200 million deal that immediately puts them into the positive, even before we talk about anything else. So, they're going to be a profitable league here soon. And right now, the players are getting 9.3% of all of the kind of merchandise, the revenue, all of that stuff. They're only getting 9.3%. If you look over at the NBA side, they're getting 50%. Now, I'm not asking for 50%, and the players shouldn't be asking for 50% because 50% in the NBA is a lot more easy to do given the money they make than 50% in the WNBA. So if the WNBA is starting to become more profitable, you can afford to then give more of that percentage to the revenue to the players. And I think if we could get to a point to where the players are making, I don't know, 30, 35% of that revenue after this deal, after the CBA and after this TV money comes in, with all the upgrades in merchandise, with all the upgrades in ticket sales that we've seen over the last couple of years, it's going to be worth it to give the players what they're worth, and it's also going to be a lot better for everybody involved. My biggest thing with the CBA is I think that right now it's kind of in a weird time because the league is in a position to where they don't know if this is actual expedited growth or if this is just a spike, right? They don't know
Right.
that yet. So they need to see more proof of that moving forward. And it's a reason why they're so hesitant to give the players what they're owed, right? And the players, they think that this is just going to keep on going, which it well could and should, but we don't know. But the players are saying, hey, this is going to keep on growing, so you better start paying us what we're worth here. So that's the biggest discrepancy. I think the timing of the CBA is kind of weird. I wish they maybe, they do a semi, like a 2 year
Yeah.
temporary agreement first, and then they go to a bigger one. But I think you gotta give the players more of what they're worth here. Once again, 30 to 35% revenue share. I would take that if I was a player compared to 9%, and I think the league should think about that as well.
So you,
Gabe,
you you brought up the
I want to
the
ask you,
the
like, give me
so
a
so
second,
Gabe, you brought
Blanco.
up. Oh yeah, go ahead.
So the one thing, and I'm gonna piggyback right off what you just said, Gabe, which I think it's very interesting, is how you talked about, like, 9.3 to 50%. You brought that number up. They definitely need. I would say with the amount of money, give them at least 20% off what they're making. That's my thing. But if you look at the actual viewership, you look at that. I'm looking at Nielsen right now. Which one thing I learned from journalism, they always taught me to look at this. So right now, WNBA in 2023 seeing a 21% increase in viewership. In they seen a 10% more increase. So that's 31%. And this year, they're at, I think, 40% more viewership, which is really dope. Okay. And I say that because I think they are presenting something to us. It's like being given, giving that, you're getting a little treat, like a dog. Like, and I hate saying this, but I'm going to use an example. You give a little treat to a dog, they enjoy it. You give them the whole thing, they love it. We're just getting bits and pieces for the WNBA, and I'm loving every fucking bit of it, and I'm here for all of it. I want the
Right.
WNBA to be better, marketable, reputable than the NBA. I hate to say it. I hate to be that person, but I'm all for the women being how they are with the WNBA. I love what they're doing. I love the t-shirt. The t-shirt was dope. I looked at that and I smiled. I was at Gusano's. I was having a beer. I was having a beer. I
Shout
watched.
out to Gasano's, baby. That's
And
fantastic
I
pizza
sat
over there.
there and I watched and I was like, oh my God, like that shirt is so, and you're right, man, it's so powerful because it is. Pay us what you owe us. What sucked? Not seeing Caitlin Clark shooting 4-point shots.
Yeah,
I watched
I mean,
that first half and I felt like I was watching. I felt like I was watching the NBA where there was no defense played. It was nothing but threes, and that's the reason why I texted you yesterday, Gabe, and I asked you, "What do you think of this All Star game?" I know you were watching it, so that's the reason why I asked you that.
yeah,
Man,
I mean,
I sat there.
let me quick. The biggest problem here, and Sabrina Ionescu talked about this after the game. I mean, they played the Liberty. They played a game and immediately next day had to be in Indianapolis for media stuff. And now that today is like their only real off day that they really have. Tomorrow they have to be at practice, and then Tuesday they're playing another game.
Yeah.
So they like we talk about, oh, I wish the game was more competitive, which you and I both do. But at the end of the day, who like these players don't get real time off. It was something I was talking with Blockett. These players don't get real
Yeah.
time off. So
Yeah.
if we call it an all-star break and it's not a break for the players, then what's the point there? So, and I think the biggest thing in the CBA is to make the season itself longer, not just the games played because they've done that. Now they're playing 44. They went from 30 in the last 10 years. They went from 35 games played to 44 games played in a single season. In that
Yeah.
time, they have not extended the length of the actual day to day when the season starts and ends. So what are you going to get? You're going to get more injuries. You're going to get more problems, more fatigue, all of that.
Oh no.
I'm screenshotting this.
So
Oh
that's a big problem, right? So that's something that needs to be in effect. And we look at just the All Star game
Sorry.
as a microcosm of that, right? They don't get time. They don't get time to rest. So it's not going to be a competitive games. The players are going to be
How
shooting
many games do you think should be
whatever.
in a WNBA season? Would you say at least 62? 20 games under the than regular NBA? Like,
I'm
you
not
say
going to say
62?
62. I think 44 is perfect right now. Just lengthen the time of this when the season starts to when the season ends.
no. Okay. Okay. Well,
Like, and the
that
reason
was
why I
my.
asked you that, Gabe, you cover you cover the Liberty like a lot, you know, uh, and I'm a huge Liberty fan. Me and you, that's one thing me and you definitely can agree on. Other than listening to Blocka talk, and we can just mute him and not listen to him. They are the defending champions of the WNBA.
So I've
I
heard.
have to ask you: do you think this break was worth it? Like, you think do you think they should be longer? Do you think the All Star break, like the actual break itself, should be a little bit longer to give them rest?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind that, right? But then again, let's make the games farther apart in the season. Now coming out of the All-Star break, the Liberty have a game on Tuesday, they have a game on Friday and a game on Saturday, and then I think they have a game maybe, Monday or Tuesday of the next week.
Monday.
Yeah, so I mean, look at that. I mean, we talk about okay, yes, it's great that they're playing more games in a season, right? Because that's more revenue, that's more tickets, that's more X and O's, right? On that end. But these players, and I'll go back to this again, it is biologically proven that women need longer to recover from these types of events than men, right? I'm not saying anything sexist by saying that. It's just
It's
biologically,
science.
it's just science, right? They need more time in between games to recover themselves, or else you're going to get a lot more injury. You talk about the Liberty. This is the most injured they've been in a very long time, right? Now they're kind of coming off of it, but they've had so many injuries this season. It's because people are playing more. The WNBA has seen such a spike in injuries this year because they're playing too many games in a shorter amount of time. So to me, it's not about the amount of games played. They can play 100 games in a season as long as you give them 365 days of the year in total, right? You understand what I'm saying? So that's kind
Yeah.
of where I'm at with it all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's about the rest
Gabe.
days.
Like, I sit and I listen. Gabe, I sit and I listen, and when you talk, like, you're probably the only person that I've ever met. Like, I have not met a lot of people, and I will say this: I know a lot of people. I've never met a Liberty fan as big as you are. And I think that's
Oh,
dope, and it
I'm a
shows me how
journalist.
much you care
I'm an
about the
objective
actual game.
journalist.
Well,
No,
we're
I
talking
know
about a
that, but you
Whoa,
professional,
also
okay?
it's
whoa.
Professional.
like I mean, like, yo, dog, like, dude, I'm being dead serious. Like, I love that because I hear the passion, the way you comment and you talk about the WNBA. I actually wish there were more guys like you in journalism that would talk and actually appreciate women basketball the way you do.
Guys
It's
and
really dope,
girls.
man.
Yeah, to me, it's all basketball, right? I tell this story all the time, and you guys always talk about your fan out and your fan stories, right? But like for me, I watch basketball. Like after this, I'm gonna eat some food and play basketball. Like I love the sport, and to me, you can't call yourself. And I said this on the show last time. You can't call
Yep.
yourself a fan of basketball if you're
Yep.
not a fan of women's basketball. It doesn't
Absolutely.
matter who you are, right? It just is. It's the same sport, and in some aspects, honestly, it's a little bit better. Maybe less dunks, but it's a lot better in some aspects. So to me, that's where that comes from. I love
Very
basketball.
true.
I'll watch JV. I'll watch varsity. I'll watch women's and men's professional leagues. To me, I just love the game, and a lot of people they get all this extra stuff clouded in there. The judgment of they're this, they're that, but they're a little bit too proactive in the way that they act. They talk about politics and all this stuff, and you could have that opinion, but at the end of the day, it's basketball. So
It's
for me,
basketball.
that's where I come
Look,
from.
I think
That's
your
where I
knowledge, I think your knowledge, I think your knowledge of the WNBA needs to be shined a little bit more because we don't get many people who talk about the WNBA like that. They may follow, they may talk about it, they may get on this show and they may talk and speak, but the knowledge and the expertise that you're giving is pretty dope. I appreciate it, and I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm not gonna lie. It's nice to actually talk to a Liberty fan.
there you go.
Well, it's nice to talk to you, Gabe. We'll
And
we'll
can
we'll
we
Thank you.
skip on
talk
the Liberty
about?
fan
Can we
part.
Yeah.
talk about Sabrina? Hey,
Can
I
we?
do want to say this. Can we talk about Sabrina?
What about her?
Can we talk about Sabrina and what she did, the 3 point contest? Like,
That was
that was
impressive. That was impressive. I'll
not
give you that.
just
That was impressive.
breaking history. That wasn't just breaking history, Blanca. That was something that probably won't even be done by Stephen Curry
Yeah, fair enough. And
ever.
we just spent time talking about All Star breaks where we don't see the stars putting in the work and being a part of it. And so to see what Sabrina did and the way she did it, it I hats off. Where's my hat? Hats off.
Your hat's
To,
already off. There you go.
yep. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and the coolest thing,
Yeah.
right, is that she won. She did a great job. Had that 30-point final round, spectacular. But the fact that she gave out 50% of her
That's dope.
earnings to
Yeah,
Sonia
that's dope.
Citron, I thought that was cool as well. Sonia is somebody that I was able to talk to at the draft. Super cool player with a cool story and just kind of one of those hard worker kind of players. And the fact that Sabrina has the respect to be like, hey, if I win, I'm giving you 50% because not a lot of rookies have the guts to step
Mm-hmm.
up on this stage and come to the 3 point contest. So that was cool to see that 50% stuff. But Sabrina, it was funny. She hadn't practiced for it. She this is just what she does, right? She just shoots threes. So
Yeah.
she came in
Shoot
there.
or shoot, baby.
Yeah, she came in there. She dominated. She went out of there. That was really fun.
Yeah. Very,
I
very
think that
love to
was
see
like,
that.
I think it was so. And I don't know, but I think the All Star game, and maybe I'm wrong, and maybe you guys might ridicule me for this. I think the All Star game needs to be before the skills and the dunk contest and the 3 point contest. I think it needs to be beforehand.
What's the benefit of that?
You get more of a competition, like the 3 point. You realize how much fun I got to enjoy watching the 3 point contest in the actual WNBA All Star game. Like, I was sitting here going, "Yeah, yeah, Sabrina, yeah!" I'm sitting here screaming at the top of my lungs, and people are looking at me at the bar like it's just a 3 point contest. I'm like, "No, man, please stop. Like, do
Well,
me a favor, pay attention to history." And I said this to someone. I said, please do me a favor, pay attention to history. History's about to be done. And as soon as I said that, she goes for 38 points in the 3 point contest. Nothing that Steph Curry's ever done. Granted, I would love to see Steph and her go at it again, but
Would
to
you would
watch
you
that
want to
as a
add
fan,
would you want to add Caitlyn to that mix?
if she would stop faking her injury,
Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, the Mr. Details angry hot take.
I feel like
You
she's
think she's
faking her
faking it?
injury, man. I really
That
do. Look, man, I'm sorry, man. I like Caitlin Clark. I think she's phenomenal for the sport of basketball. But and I'm not gonna take anything away from her, but I really think she's faking this injury. I think she doesn't want to play. I think the moment is too big. I'm actually at this point where I'm starting to think
I'll
that the moment's a
so
little bit too big for her.
so I
She
see
can handle
Caitlin
the
on
spotlight.
I see Caitlin on Tuesday. I'll let her know. I'll let her know you say that.
give her a
Thank you.
shout for us, please. Please send our
I'll
regards.
say so. That's
Let
like
her know I appreciate her
people think you.
game. Yo, let her know I appreciate her game, but please stop faking an injury. I'd like to see you on the basketball court.
All right, so all right, from that standpoint, then this settles the me bounds versus Caitlin Clark um, uh, uh, debate we've been
I
having.
love
Okay,
Caitlyn, man. I actually
yeah, but
genuinely, man.
well,
You remember Blanca? You remember how praise and high praise I give. But if we don't have Caitlyn Clark, like honestly, we don't have like I feel like the viewership went down for the All Star game because she
of course
wasn't
it
in
did.
the All Star game.
She's she's the biggest
And that's
draw
my
in
thing.
WNBA
I want to
history.
see these big name players. I want to see these big name players. They deserve all the money they need. I think that Pete Alonso now has a right hand contusions and is now out for the Mets game. Thanks, ESPN.
This just in.
Sorry, random.
This just in.
Uh,
All right,
yeah.
well, so
No,
that's a
no,
great
Blanca,
stopping
but
point for us.
hold on,
Okay.
hold on. Okay, give me 1 second. Like watching Caitlin Clark and watching how actually like her and Amy they go back and forth. A lot of people I think overhype the drama and the beef, but they're actually friends, and I think people don't
Yeah, of course.
understand that.
All right, let me play devil's advocate for you, right? And you're old
Okay.
enough, Grandpa. You're old enough to remember this. When did the NBA take its first big step forward, right? They got off tape delays in the finals because of the Lakers and the Celtics 79, right? I'm sorry, not 79, but when Magic and Bird came in 79, and then the Lakers and the Celtics became the two best teams in the league. And we see the rivalry as it unfolded through the 80s. 80s basketball is still rare. It's still the golden era of basketball if you ask a lot of folks around in our age and beyond. So seeing this Caitlin Clark Angel Reese rivalry may be the best thing for the WNBA, right? Especially with the level of talent that's about to enter the league, that just entered the league, and you see what Angel and Caitlin take this is their second year. This is Paige Becker's first year, and that group that came with her. You got Juju behind her, and the amount of talent that's coming behind Caitlin and Angel Reese. I think it's great to see this rivalry. I think this is what the WNBA needs is as expansion abounds. Well, that was the other thing I needed to ask you about, Gabe, while we're at it. But I think that rivalry is good for the WNBA. So speaking of those rivalries, we talked about it a little bit last time we were on. Cleveland has a team on the way. Portland has a team that starts next year, I believe, the Fire.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about the expansion. If you got any tips or inside knowledge on more expansion, please feel free to share. Whatever your thoughts on expansion for the WNBA.
Yeah, and when we talked about the CBA and how important that is, right? This expansion is it kind of plays both sides
Okay.
on it for kind of what's going on. I think the players see the expansion, and the league sees that there's a lot of cities, by the way, that
Mm-hmm.
wanted bits, right? Wanted teams. You talk about places like Miami really wanted a team, and other places really wanted a team. I think Kansas City was another place.
Yeah. Yeah. Big city traffic. He's a big city professional.
So,
Okay.
so there's all these people. I respect you guys' audio quality. So,
Thank you.
uh, and so there were a lot of cities that wanted bids, but you had ended up being Philly, Portland getting all these bits, Cleveland getting this bit as well. So people see the expansion, and the players see that expansion. Say, hey, that's proof that we need what we want. And on
Right.
the flip side, the league's like, well, hold on, we have to make sure that these teams actually get off on the right foot. We need to make sure that the money actually comes into these teams. So that's kind of a little bit of the doubling
I
their
wrote something.
expansion. And then I wanted to say something about,
I wrote something. Yeah,
Hold on, just a
I
second.
wrote something. I have it right here. I wrote this the other day on our last podcast. I wrote notes, and you spoke on something that I feel that needs to be appreciated. More teams and more teams are needed for the WNBA to keep up with the competition to further grow the league. And
Say that one more time.
having bigger marketing.
Say it one more time.
The WNBA needs more teams to further the competition to better the league.
Okay.
To make more, and they're going to make more money. Like, regardless, I don't care what anybody says, but to make more money, you need more teams. You can't just go with 12, 15, now go to 18. I think the only thing I wish they would do, make these teams a lot faster, because there are so many more players deserving of an actual spotlight.
Well, all right. So
Like, we talk about that
if you
girl from what's her name? What's the girl's name? Hey, no, hold on. What's the girl's name from Alabama? Or not Alabama? The girl that she dribbles like Allen Iverson. I always tell you that.
Oh, the girl
Can't
from
remember her
Rutgers.
name.
The girl from Rutgers.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
I forgot her
Like,
name, but
you need that. Like,
Well,
I'm
true.
sitting here and I'm
but,
like, yo, you
but
need that, and you're like, oh wow.
But there were like 25 teams like 10 years ago,
yeah,
and it wasn't very properly managed. And so I think everybody's in agreements with you there that yeah, you definitely need more teams. You look at, there was a team that the Lynx dropped a player the other day. I gotta go back and look through my notifications because I was actually trying to figure out why they were thanking her because they were dropped in the middle of the season. But it
yeah.
was like
So a couple of days ago, while you find it, I'll just kind of talk over it. Well,
yeah.
like a couple of days ago, it was the midpoint for cutting players. So you wouldn't actually
Yeah,
lose
okay.
any money if you cut the players by that day. So the Liberty did it with
Okay.
Marquisha Davis, who she didn't get a lot of playing time, but a lot of the players spoke highly of her, saying that she is a pretty good player, deserving of a spot. So that's one of those players that should be playing on that 18th, 19th team that right now just doesn't have an opportunity to. So
Yeah, and the Lynx player was
No,
Alyssa Peely.
yeah,
But same
Gabe,
thing. They were very highly
why,
spoken of her.
Gabe? I got a question for you, man. You cover the WNBA a lot. Why is that in mid-season and not before? Can you explain why cutting in the mid-season is something that happens? Like, I know I see it in the NBA, but why is that in this time right now? We're watching the WNBA and we're watching the All Star game. Why is that something that gets done in the mid-season? And you called it what? You said mid-season cuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a mid-season cut. It's all financial. It's all for cap reasons to save a team a little bit more money. So if they want to go out at the trade deadline and acquire someone, or if there's somebody in free agency that they want to come halfway through the season, they can do that without having to pay dead money from the person that they cut before that deadline. So it's just all financial, general manager stuff.
Okay. So
Okay, no. Like I said, I just wanted to know because I thought it was. I'm not like I just think it's a little weird. You see, players just get cut in mid-season. You're like, wait, did they do something wrong? Or like,
right,
in
that's
my
what I was
head, I'm
thinking
like,
too.
and that's just me. Did they
Yeah.
do something wrong? Or are they just not good enough? Like, then
Yeah,
if they
usually they're
weren't good enough,
players.
why did you have
Yeah.
them in the first place?
Yeah, usually they're just players at the end of the bench and they want to save some money. So
Yeah, gotcha. So I want to step back to something you said a bit ago, Gabe, And then I know you had another point you were wanting to make. I don't know if you still got it noodling around in there. But you mentioned something about the types of places that were making bids to gain or regain a WNBA team. Something I talked about, and I think I might have done a reel on it with one of our recent episodes, was talking about the Houston Comets and how their team has defunct. This is the team with the most NBA champions or WNBA championships. Why is there not a sense of urgency, if you're familiar with it, as to getting the Houston Comets back into the league?
Because there isn't a sense of urgency of people who want to run the Houston Comets.
Okay.
It takes two to tango. You don't think the
True.
WNBA wants its most historic early franchise, original franchise, to be involved, right? The Cheryl Swoops, winning all those championships. What
Right.
was it, 3, 4 in a row in the late '90s, early 2000s? Right, they were the best team out there.
There's a
But
level of dominance we haven't seen in very many professional sports.
100%. So, but on the flip side, if nobody's really there to run it, what's the point of really doing it? So,
Touche.
it always takes two to tango on those kind of things. And I know that a lot of people want to see those Houston Comets back.
Yeah.
There might be a market in it in Houston. I don't live in Houston. I don't know.
Sure.
But even in that just kind of area, I mean, you have the Dallas Wings. Are they
Yeah.
the reason why maybe you don't have a Houston team? Maybe you don't want to have two teams in Texas right now in the WNBA, right? Maybe that's
Okay.
something that maybe that's a thought going around in the minds over there. But yeah, that would be my only kind of my thing to it.
All right. One last
You got to give me
location
your
question.
thought. Hey man, you got to give me your thought on Toronto getting a. So we talked about this on our last podcast, on our last episode, man. Gabe, I gotta ask. So Toronto's coming out with an actual NBA WNBA team. Okay,
Yep.
what are your thoughts on Toronto? Because what was said beforehand is, hey man, the taxes, the way they get paid, out there in Toronto is a lot different than how it is in America. Having a WNBA team, how does that affect the CBA with them being involved? And also, how does that affect the entirety of the WNBA with them being there in Toronto?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the early returns on the Toronto Tempo have been pretty good. I mean, you look at the season ticket holders, the people who are trying to get season tickets, right? Those signees, they've been pretty good in terms of numbers there. So I think for the WNBA, they look at that and they, I mean, we've heard it from Kathy Engelbert that says, "Hey, this game is global. We know that the game is rising." So it's a little bit of tick on both sides check marks or check boxes, excuse me, saying, hey, there's interest globally in other countries in other nations. I mean, the tax stuff and what players are going to be making over there. I mean, it doesn't really change much. I mean, it's the same thing with the Raptors, same thing with the Blue Jays. I mean, it's all the same. So that I don't think is as big of an issue. I think the thing is first of all, I don't like the logo. That's
That's
just
very important.
yeah. I'm not a logo. I mean, you look at the Portland Fire. You see that logo? That's
Yeah,
my favorite
that one's
logo in
great.
the
Oh, we
league.
were talking
That
about
one's
that the
great.
other day. How
Yeah,
dope that logo is.
yeah. That's my. You got the rose inside the flame. I think that's dope. So anyway, because they're the city of roses. If nobody knows, but so I thought that was really dope. But having a team in Toronto is going to be cool to grow the game globally, right? I think that's really what they want to do after expansion. That's something that they talked about as their next kind of step is growing the game globally, growing the women's game globally. So whether that's having a preseason game overseas in France or somewhere like that, that's stuff that kind of they're talking about in their very very early stages right now.
What's your
What were your
ideal?
thoughts on
And I gotta ask, Gabe, what's your ideal a number of teams that should be playing for the WNBA?
I want enough to. I don't know the number. I want enough teams to make conferences relevant. So
that's
whether that's like 20 teams, have 10 teams per conference. I just don't like right now how in the WNBA the conference East West it really doesn't matter. because in the playoffs you're playing each other, so it literally makes no difference where
Yeah.
you are. So the only thing that conferences really matter in it is when we talk about the All Star game that I don't care about. So
Hey,
enough teams to
I'll be
make
right
conferences
back. I'm
relevant.
still gonna be on, but I'll be right back.
Yeah, I got you. So there's, so I think we were talking about. Well, actually, I think you had a point you wanted to make. I don't know if you still remember it.
Yeah. So my whole point is we talked about kind of CBA and the league's hesitancy to give players what they're worth.
Right.
And it's hard to quantify what the players are worth because let's talk about the Dallas Wings. They have Paige Beckers, one of the most valuable players in the league. But then let's talk about, I don't know, just name a random team, maybe on a team that's not doing so hot right now.
The
Are those
the Mystics, the
the
Washington
Mystics,
Mystics.
right?
Yeah.
Are those players worth it, right? And this is not me saying that they're not, right?
Right.
This is not me saying that they're not, but I'm saying that I think the league and the executives are a little bit thinking to themselves that this WNBA is still too reliant on those 2 3 star players in the WNBA right now. So what they want in a couple of years, right, when the Juju's come out, when
Right.
hopefully that girl from Rutgers gets a chance and she gets the ball out,
Right.
right, when Olivia Hidalgo gets to and Hannah whatever her name is, it's escaping me now, but
Yeah.
when those players get to show their talents in the WNBA, now there's all of that talent super spread out. Then you can justify, all right, everybody deserves this. Right now, if I'm a league, if I'm a team executive, and I'm saying I don't know if they're that worth it because I know Caitlyn is that worth it. I know X is that worth it, but I know Sabrina and Stu are that worth it. But are these players worth it? And it sounds shitty for me to say it that way, but it would be hard for me not to think that that's what the league is thinking at this point.
And it makes good business sense. Like the thing about it, and that's the point that I get when people. I hate some of the things that people said on X or Twitter or whatever
Yep.
about and throughout some of the negative perceptions about those T-shirts. But I also understand. I've ran a league, not as big as the WNBA, but a league, and
Yeah.
I understand the business side of this, what those dollars represent, and you've got so much on the line, you're teetering in a very big spot. I totally get it. And so you just hope that all these players that we know are outstanding stars in college that are going to come in and be the same. And so it makes me kind of wonder, do they lower the age limit for the WNBA, kind of like they did with the NBA, whereas and it was never really an age limit. It was just kind of always a expected thing. You play 3 years
Yeah.
in men's college, and then you started having some players that came out before and made it worth it to have some guys come in and play right out of high school and so forth. You think that's something they look into with women's college basketball as well?
I don't think it would make a difference, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
With the NBA, that made a huge difference back then because I was making nothing in college, and you're saying that now I can have the incentive to go to the NBA and start making money earlier in my life? I'm going to
Right.
take that 10 out of 10 times. So players did that. In the WNBA, a lot of these top players in college, they're making a ton of money already, right? With
NIL, yeah.
endorsements, NIL, all this stuff, right? So the incentive, if you're telling me, okay, well, you could join the WNBA, I'm sending myself saying, am I making that much more money if I go to
Yeah.
the WNBA right now? So
Yeah.
there isn't that much incentive. So which is why it makes this CBA huge, right? Because if you can up that right now, I think that the cap for a team is something like crazy, like $1 million. That's the cap space that you if you really break it down like that, right? Because
Oh
Brianna
wow.
Brianna Stewart's making like 200,000, right? And she's one of like the top
The
play
top players.
right. So like people don't even look at this stuff, right? Like they're only making like 200K, and that's something that like a decent doctor's making right now. So that's why we say it's kind of ridiculous. But
Yeah.
people don't even put these things into perspective. Um, so that's the incentive that needs to happen. Like if you're telling me I can go to a rookie contract and make 75 grand a year, dude, let me just stay in school. Let me just get a degree. So even if this basketball stuff doesn't work out, I still got something in my back pocket. Like there's not enough incentive right now to do that. So I don't think dropping the age right now makes a lot of sense or
Okay.
would do anything.
Yeah, fair. All right. Well, look, man. As always, man, it's always absolute pleasure. I'm not gonna glaze you like Ant be
Yeah,
doing it,
please
man.
don't. Please don't.
But it is a blast to get to talk with you, man. All right. Last segment before we roll. Favorite sports movies. You got a top 5? Have you thought? Are you a sports movie fan?
I'm not a movie fan.
Oh, okay.
And it's not because like I don't like movies. Like movies are dope, but
Yeah.
like to me as a kid, I was watching my own film. I was watching Sports Center, and I was watching the Yankees game. So that's my childhood. But I did see it, and me, funny enough, The Natural is always a big one for me.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
yeah, The Natural is always a big one for me. My dad kind of showed me that one early on. The Natural, I don't really, these aren't like ranked, but Natural's definitely up there. Major League, can't go wrong with that. What was the movie? Like Mike, right?
Like Mike with Bow Wow.
Yeah, with Bow Wow, can't go wrong with that. Um, this one, I don't know if you're going to count it. I'm going to count it because it's one of the first movies that I loved. Real
Okay.
Steel. The
Real
first
Steel.
Real Steel, the boxing movie with um,
Yeah, yeah,
the robot.
he's got the controller robot thing,
Yeah,
right?
and
Yeah,
he does
yeah.
like Superman punch and the that's like the famous scene or whatever. So Real Steel,
Terrific.
is that 3, I
That's
think.
3.
Um, and then I don't know. After that, I mean, can't go wrong. I think I watched Love and Basketball like way too early on in my life.
See, hey, someone actually enjoys loving basketball. Wait,
Yeah.
wait, wait, whoa, whoa.
I
I said
think
this
I
last
watched
time.
it. I think I
That's
watched it way.
fantastic.
It's a great movie, but I think I watched it a little bit too early in my life.
Yeah.
But I still loved it, so I guess who really cares? And then the last one, this one actually is number 1, and now I forget the name of it.
Who was in it?
The coach with not, it wasn't, his name wasn't Coach.
Coach Carter.
Yes, Coach Carter. Yes, Coach
Sammy
Carter.
All right.
Coach
All
Carter's
right.
my favorite sports movie of
Very,
all time.
very good. Very good. That's fantastic, man. Well,
Gabe.
look, bro, I appreciate you again, bro.
Gabe, I have to
Y'all
say
probably
this.
didn't think I was gonna pull out the older ones, did you? Y'all thought I was gonna do some stupid stuff.
Hey, Sandlot's not a. Hey, you can't tell me Sandlot's not a great baseball movie.
Sandlot's a good one. I feel like that's typical though, mainstream.
Yeah.
It's one of the best baseball movies out there, other than For the Love of the Game.
Fever
Yeah.
Pitch.
But
You tell me you didn't
yo,
like Fever
I
Pitch?
commend you. I commend you, Gabe. I'm gonna be honest with you. I commend you, my brother. I commend you on the fact that you named Love and Basketball as a top 3 in your thing. Because I said that the last time. I said Love and Basketball was a phenomenal movie. Him and Blue, they made fun of me. They're like, they're really calling that an actual movie? Sports movie? Yes, it was a sports movie. The WNBA. Thank you.
There you go. So I guess it makes sense.
All right, that's
Correct.
fine.
I guess
I
it's
won't
correct.
make and actually, so all right, I won't make fun of it because there was actual sports play. You know, it's called Love and Basketball. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this television program called The Game. It's about a fictional football team where it's a bunch of romance. They might wear shoulder pads. It's a 9-season series. They might have worn shoulder pads 13 times throughout the entirety of it. It's
The worst TV
You can't go
show
wrong.
ever.
You can't go wrong with Longest Yard, obviously either. You can't go wrong with those.
the original, or the Adam Sandler joint.
The original, not the Adam Sandler.
Okay.
The original.
Real, okay. I
Well,
like
I
the
like
original.
I like both of them. I like both
Hey,
of them.
I have a question.
Okay.
For y'all. July 25th, Happy Gilmore 2 comes out. Right?
Ooh.
I will not be
How
watching.
excited are you guys for that movie?
He's not watching. He's not watching. So I never got into Happy Gilmore. So it did nothing for me. And that's ironic because I'm a huge Adam Sandler fan. But I never got into Happy Gilmore. So I got nothing. I'm not gonna be super hype about it. I'm not gonna be super hype about it. Gabe said he's not watching.
Blanca,
so.
you need to
not
just
watching.
go ahead and
Oh,
mute
there's a
yourself.
Liberty
and
game.
take
There's a
yourself
Liberty
video.
game on the 25th. So
Yeah, so he's got work.
yeah, I got work.
He's got work.
Hey
I
man,
mean,
will you do me a favor, man? Look, I know you're gonna tell Caitlin Clark what I said about the fake injury, but will you please tell her? Just do me this favor, man. Will you please do me this favor? Will you please do me this favor as a fan? I love Caitlin Clark. Will you please do me a favor and please tell her to continue doing what she does and always inspire young women to do what she does?
oh,
Oh,
boo!
there
Now
it
you're
goes.
Please do me
you're
that.
backpedaling.
Yeah.
Stand strong. Tell her.
She's faking
You're
an
faking.
injury.
You're faking your injury, but you're great.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand.
No, you got. All right, let me ask you this
It's
before we
like
go. Let me.
LeBron
This is a
James.
little
Hold
bit of
on,
shenanigans.
wait. So hold, whoa. Oh, whoa. Y'all sitting here saying I'm backpedaling. What did LeBron James do this past All Star game?
He always backpedals. In life he's a
No, he
backpedaler.
didn't backpedal. He took a starting position away from someone the day of and said he wasn't able to play, knowing he
Well,
knew damn well he couldn't play 2 3 days beforehand. I'm sorry if you got the greatest doctors in the world. You gonna tell me you didn't know you weren't able to play? No, you took a starting position away from someone that got an
But then
well,
again,
opportunity.
if LeBron announces a couple days before that he's not playing, a lot less people are watching that All Star game. Less people than already are watching right now.
So
exactly.
let me ask you: Is that the same thing? Is that the same thing for Caitlin Clark?
I don't know. Was it? Like,
Is she the LeBron James of basketball right now? I'm gonna ask you that question.
No, you certainly can't say that.
I
No,
guess.
I mean hype wise. I mean hype wise. Let me rephrase that. Is she the LeBron James of basketball hype wise?
No,
Oh.
I'm gonna answer. No, there's no way. Listen, look, you can't put 22 years of actually living up to the hype into
Oh, by the
the
way,
two
Gabe,
years.
he's a LeBron. He's a one of the LeBron idiots that thinks LeBron is better. Like
Are you
LeBron is better
saying that
than
he
Michael
didn't live up
Jordan.
to the hype?
He
Are
thinks
you saying
LeBron is better than Michael
are you
Jordan.
saying he didn't live up to the hype? Because you blew up our group chat talking about Gabe.
Yes.
You ought to saw all the shenanigans he was talking and tomfoolery that he was
Oh my
talking in our group
God.
chat. But the fact of them, and all I said was that when it's all said and done, that LeBron's finals opponents there will be more Hall of Famers from LeBron's finals opponents than
I
there will
sent
be
him a
from Michael
picture.
Jordan's.
No, no. Rephrase that and actually talk legitimately for one
That's what
second of
that's what
your
I
life.
said. Think
Please
about it.
do me one favor. I love you. You're
You
my
know,
brother, but there's one thing you will not do: not
it's
tell the whole
ironic.
entire story.
I
So I
said I
sent him a
said I would never
picture.
talk LeBron and MJ on this television
I
platform, and here we are.
so Gabe, I sent a picture of Hall of Famers that Michael Jordan played against and LeBron has played against. Mind you, there was no
Have you seen
defense
that meme
played.
yet?
There's no defense played in this era, and me and you both agree. There's no defense played in this era. They're gonna sit here and say that LeBron's played against more Hall of Famers than Michael Jordan.
I said that by the time that 10 years
No, I
from
will
now,
screenshot this and send this to Gabe right now.
please screenshot it because I'm telling you that regardless of what was said, I'm telling you that LeBron will have faced more Hall
You
of Famers
sound like a
in his finals.
you sound like a Michael Jordan hater. Where's Marcus when you need him?
I'm not gonna revise history. We're not gonna sit here and glorify the fact that the Pistons were beating up Michael Jordan and called it defense, and Michael Jordan cried and complained about it. So did Barkley. So did a lot of people in the league. They cried and complained about how this defense was. Now all
What
these old
era
heads,
do you?
25 years
What
later,
era of
are pretending
basketball
like
did you grow up in?
I'm 40 years old. I saw both eras of
You are
basketball,
not 40
so I'm
years
not
old. You're
pretending.
39.
I'm 40. I turned 40 in March.
No,
I'm
you're
40.
39, man. It's
You,
always a year
you're
younger, man.
you're
Remember that.
58 years old now, and all of
See,
that
Gabe,
dementia
Gabe,
starting to
I'm
kick
trying
in.
to give him the benefit of the doubt, man. Trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. But Gabe, man, I definitely gotta ask you, man. What's your take?
You look great for
What's your
58,
take
bro.
on
Let
this?
me tell you. You look great for 58. What's
Thank you.
what?
I appreciate that, man. I turned
Why'd you
41 on
shave your
July
beard
31st.
off?
What was your question?
Man, my question is, man, what do you think? Like about the talks of maybe Caitlin Clark being with the hype, being a LeBron James coming out like out of college, even though she didn't come from high school to the WNBA, but the hype that's around her and looking at that, would you say that has a significance? Would you say that's similar?
I think you can weave similar attributes to them, but LeBron was what Caitlin Clark now when LeBron was 16. So that's kind of where like LeBron was drawing Caitlin Clark crowds at 16 years old. So that's where I kind of draw that line. Now, when you talk about now the NBA was almost kind of dying, right?
It's
At
true.
the end of Michael Jordan's career on the Wizards, they were kind of just trying to force, Jordan, Jordan, Jordan. But then LeBron came in, and that brought another spike, right? That brought a spike to the league. If you want to compare that, sure, we could do that for the sake of argument. And just because I like both of you guys, I will not tell you who I think is the greatest player of all time. Um,
No, actually, you will. I'm going to
Cause
make you do it.
it's
I
I
have to
will
ask.
not.
it's Willis Reed. It's
Well,
Willis Reed.
No, it's
it's
Paul Clyde Frazier.
no, it's one of you guys that
Yeah, God.
it's one of the top two, but I don't know. I just want to
Yeah.
be. I want to
It's
be in
Paul
the.
Clyde Frazier, man. Stumbling
No,
and mumbling everywhere.
I hate him as a
Listen,
broadcaster.
here's
Hey,
the
no,
deal.
don't you
Like,
dare talk disrespect about Walt Clyde Frazier.
All right, just because you like the Dr. Seuss of broadcasters doesn't mean he's great. That's what he is. He's the
Yo,
Dr.
how many
Seuss.
times have you met? Hey, let me ask you, how many times have you met Walt Clyde Frazier
I've only been
in
around
your
him once.
times at MSG?
I've only been around him once.
Yeah, I want you to do me a favor. Next time you see him, I want you to
Big
tell
guy,
him
though.
he's the Dr. Seuss of commentating.
I'm sure he would like that.
He
Dr.
probably
Seuss.
it's
might.
creative.
Yeah,
It's
Dr. Seuss,
creative.
No,
I'll take it.
actually, you're
legendary,
oh,
legendary writer.
the
There we go.
nursery
Fair.
rhymes that he has is insane.
All right,
It's
what
all
do we
right.
got
So
here? Anything else?
I think we've gone far enough off the rails at this point, Gabe. Man.
Hey, man, look, it's just fun to have Gabe on here, man. Gabe's a New
Yeah.
Yorker. Gabe, I appreciate it. I definitely enjoy having you
Well,
on here.
he's
You
already
did
said
not
he.
one up me this time. You did one up me on the Yankees talk,
Yeah.
but you
Okay.
didn't one up me this game. Blocker
Okay.
thinks that you calm me
Listen,
down. Very
Gabe is
hard to do.
hungry. He's going to get food. Gabe is hungry.
I
What
am.
what anything you want to shout out before we go?
Nah, man. Follow the Liberty. Follow them as they win another championship. Follow the
Ugh.
playbook. Follow as I try to justify why the Yankees might have a chance of winning anything. And if you like New York sports, follow the playbook. That's all I talk over
Got
there.
to.
So
Yeah.
let's
Ah,
let's keep talking over here. Get in the comments section. I love
Yeah.
talking sports.
Yeah. Definitely
hey
gonna get in
Gabe,
this
man,
conversation.
it's a pleasure to have you here, man. I'm glad that I met you. I'm glad I was able to get on your post and man, it's never been the same since then, man. So right now we're 1-1, debating wise.
So we
All right.
gotta bring it
I
back.
am the
All right.
angry Stephen A. I am the angry Stephen A. Smith, and you are the Max Kellerman.
Okay.
Oh, is that
I,
good?
I don't think so.
I don't like it.
I don't think so.
Don't insult our guest,
Yeah.
Anthony.
So
Yeah.
now that's 2-1. Thank you. 2-1. Thanks, Max. I
All
appreciate
right.
you.
All right. Hey, man, thank y'all so much for joining us. We've had too much fun. Look forward to us real soon. Before we go, just a reminder, look, we got the fantasy football league for our podcast that'll be starting in August, right before the season. We got a lot of really great things coming up. Look us up. Check us out. Don't make this your last time seeing us. As I always say, tough times don't last and tough people do. Thank y'all for watching the Fanatic Sports Podcast.
Gabe, thank you.
See you guys. Take care.